Hi, I'm Meredith Hodges. Are you having trouble getting the same response from your equine as trainers do?
We are here today to address the issues that all play an integral part in the successful training of your equine. Training isn't just a way to teach your equine to do certain things. It's a way to help him grow physically and mentally healthy and to enable him to learn to cope with the demands that will be put on him in life. It's much like raising children to grow up to be healthy and productive adults. The information in this program addresses the subtleties of the working environment that can make all the difference in your training program. Whether he's a foal or an older equine that you've just obtained, trained or untrained, the process is the same and it's never too late to get started. You are developing a new relationship and the ground rules you set now will dictate the positive extent of your relationship with the animal. You are creating the foundation from which your friendship will grow. It's important to be an active participant in your animal's training. After all, you wouldn't have someone else go out and make a friend for you.
It's important that your equine feels safe and comfortable in his surroundings.
For this reason, it is important that you use the same place each day to groom and prepare him for the lessons of the day. In the beginning, you should have a pen that is small, 400 to 500 square feet, and allows you to access your equine for imprinting, tying, leading, and grooming to begin teaching him good ground manners. Routine fosters confidence and trust. Once he has mastered tying and leading in a small pen, he can then be taken to a designated workstation where he will not only be groomed, but he will learn to accept tack in preparation for the round pen. This is called the workstation. This should be a place that has a good stout hitch rail and access to your tack and grooming equipment. When working around your equine, pay attention to his body language in the workstation. If he becomes tense or skittish, acknowledge his concerns with a stroke on the neck and be verbally supportive and protective of him. Learn to wait for him to settle down before you do anything. Don't make too much out of unimportant details. In other words, if he's pawing the ground, don't insist that he be still all the time, only when you approach and need to do something with him. Many anxious behaviors get inappropriately rewarded with too much attention and actually become worse. If you ignore pawing, cribbing, throwing of the head, pushing with the nose, stomping, and other anxious behaviors, they will lessen over time provided you step in and reward your animal when he's being quiet. When you brush or clip him, start at the front and make sure you give him the time and opportunity to figure out what you're going to do. When he accepts the presence of the item to be used, such as the brush or clippers, then you can begin. He will exhibit his acceptance with a sigh, relaxation of his muscles, or a turn or dropping of the head. Watch the pressure you apply when using these items. Different animals will have different sensitivity to these tools and will tolerate them better if they know you're not going to cause undue pain. Learn to brush manes and tails from the bottom up and use a conditioner such as baby oil to keep from breaking or pulling hair. A shedding blade can be an uncomfortable grooming tool when used improperly. When using a shedding blade to remove mud around the head, ears, legs, and even on his body, be careful to minimize his discomfort by monitoring the pressure you apply to each area. When bathing, don't get water in his eyes or ears. This kind of consideration will build your animal's trust and confidence in you and make training easy and enjoyable for both of you. Next, we'll talk about how your tack and equipment affects your mule's performance.
Colorful Colorado, with its majestic Rocky Mountains and wide open spaces, also boasts the Loveland Long Years Museum and Sculpture Park at the Lucky 3 Ranch, home of some of the finest mules and donkeys in the world. This working ranch is just 40 miles north of Denver. World-renowned authority on mules and donkeys, Meredith Hodges, invites you and your family for an adventure in learning you won't want to miss. Come visit the Lucky 3 Ranch, meet Meredith, her champion mules and donkeys, and take in the beauty of her long years art for the experience of a lifetime.
Hi, I'm Meredith Hodges, and welcome to the Lucky 3 Ranch Training Tips. I get a lot of letters and emails from people with training and behavior questions about their equines. So I'm going to take you back to the beginning with a series of training tips that work for all equines. Chaos is the enemy of good equine management, so setting up an organized, familiar workstation is a terrific idea. Equines are creatures of habit, so a familiar workstation and regular grooming keep them healthy, happy, and calm. It also helps you to develop and maintain a solid, reliable management routine. First, find the right spot for your workstation. It should be convenient, safe, clear of debris, and non-threatening to your animal. Make sure you have a safe place to tie up your animal. A sturdy and easy-to-clean station is important, as is plenty of space for your grooming tools, and tack should be nearby. Remember, your first priority is always building and maintaining your equine's trust. And a well-thought-out, familiar workstation will go a long way in building that trust.
Here's an engineer. How did you know that? So we go see a huge mule. Because this heck, you're fine. Struck with the hair, that's all you gotta do. Okay, come on, boys, let's go. Come on.
Every owner knows that a well taken care of equine is a happy equine. More and more, a technique being used to enhance our animal's overall conditioning is equine massage.
What you have to realize is you're training an animal in their muscle tissue, and their muscle tissue has to be able to perform the task that you're asking the animal to perform. If you're having a hard time doing the advanced things, you need to go back to the beginning. The massage helps break the pattern of the neurons that fire to that muscle, that tell it to contract, to contract, to contract.
With proper instruction, just about anyone can learn to give their equine the benefit of basic massage.
I've been working on equines for a long time, and a lot of people look at you and hope that you can just come out and make an animal better. And you can't do that. It takes two pieces, the massage as well as the exercise. And the exercise is actually more important than the massage. And that's something that people really have to understand. And Meredith's tapes do that. And a lot of people don't want to take that long a time frame. They just want to do their 60 days, get on the animal and ride them. But that's not really where you can go with their backs.
For more intensive therapeutic massage, be sure to consult a professional. Equine massage not only enhances your animal's health and overall condition, it's also a deeply personal and rewarding bonding experience for both of you.
Many of you who love your horses also love your dogs. This type of massage can be beneficial for all your pets. If you want to improve your animal's quality of life, I can help. I can either teach you how to do it, or I can massage your dogs for you. Contact me at dogmassage.com.
Hi, I'm Meredith Hodges, and welcome to the Lucky 3 Ranch Training Tips. I get a lot of letters and emails from people with training and behavior questions about their equines. So I'm going to take you back to the beginning with a series of training tips that work for all equines.
Training sessions that are too repetitious and last too long will only fatigue and frustrate your equine, resulting in unwanted resistance. If something is not working, drilling over and over for hours will not help. Rather, look at your animal's disobedience as a clue that there is something wrong, and it's preventing him from performing well. You should always keep your equine's physical conditioning in mind when working with him. When you are starting out, build strength and good posture and balance during flat work leading training. And add coordination over obstacles on the lead rope. This will begin to solidify a strong foundation of good posture from which to work. Break things down into very small, doable steps. Keep lessons short in the beginning, 15 to 30 minutes and no more than every other day. To become strong, muscles must be properly developed by being stressed, but not fatigued. After the muscles have been adequately worked, they need a full day's rest between lessons in order to grow in a healthy way. Be sure your training steps are planned logically with fairness in mind and are not overwhelming. Remember that just because your equine is a large animal, he cannot automatically do what you ask of him. He must be gradually schooled and correctly conditioned every step of the way. This logical and fair approach to training your equine will produce a willing and capable athletic companion.
Artwork inspired by mules and donkeys is quickly gaining popularity. Tennessee mule artist Bonnie Shields has the uncanny ability to capture the fun-loving nature of these free-spirited animals.
They were like a horse, but they weren't like a horse. They had a little different body. They used their body a different way. They certainly had a different mental attitude. So they started intriguing me as an artist, and I kept finding the differences between them and the horse, both physically and in their reaction to things. So that started my love affair with the mule. When you deal with the mule, you're not always in charge. So it takes a little bit of a different kind of personality to appreciate the mule and to work with her.
She was the only artist that could really capture the essence of mules and donkeys. Because mules and donkeys are really good teachers and teachers of life lessons. And Bonnie has just been an inspiration to me ever since. Wow, how'd it do?
Whoa. I know that all through the years, Meredith gives tours to the ranch. But what a wonderful addition to this whole ranch would be a sculpture park just for the mules and the donkeys. So I just thought it was an awesome idea. And then she let me be part of it. It's a wonderful thing, and when you come to visit the Lucky Three, it's just an added bonus. Mule people, you reckon I can get Meredith to make a tape on how to teach your mule to shovel snow? I sure gonna try. Wish me luck.
Just a wonderful human being, and working with her is always humorous. She is just funny as the day is long, and so I thought that she would be absolutely perfect as the illustrator for the Jasper series that I wanted to do.
The Daydreamers was inspired by a thing that I saw years ago. I heard about this family up in Kentucky. They'd been working back out in the field with their mules. And one of the boys, he was laying across this mule's back, laying in the shade. They'd been working, and he was resting on the back of his mule in the shade. That just kind of stuck with me, and I thought, gee, a kid like that, you know, he thinks he's stuck on the farm. He thinks he's stuck doing all this terrible old work, and he's laying up there and he's daydreaming about getting away from it all. So that's where Daydreamer came from. Sculpture's not the only thing I do. Matter of fact, I got into sculpture maybe a little later in my career. Mostly, I was known for my pencil drawings and my acrylic paintings for many, many years.
Long ears art. It may be whimsical, like a cartoon, or it may simply be breathtaking. Long ears are taking their place in the world of art, and it's the beginning of a beautiful friendship.
Always make sure you are using the correct tack for whatever you are doing in order to elicit the correct response from your equine. If you're not sure about what to use, ask the experts in your area or go to our website for more detailed information. Make sure all tack and equipment fit your animal properly. If it doesn't, it will cause adverse behaviors during training. Once your equine is leading well in the small pen and negotiating trail obstacles in the open easily, and is relatively relaxed in the workstation, he's ready to move on to the round pen. In the round pen, you will have an opportunity to assess your animal's progress and begin working conditioning the hard muscle masses in preparation for performance. The size of the round pen is important. From 45 to 50 feet in diameter is ideal. If it's any larger, you won't be able to control the animal as well, and if it's any smaller, it will interfere with his ability to develop the right muscle groups. It should be made with solid walls and high enough so the animal cannot jump out. They can be made out of all kinds of materials, such as 2x12 boards and posts, stock panels, and even stacked tires if you have enough. The ground surface should be soft dirt or 3 to 4 inches of sand. Be aware of how your own body language and verbal commands elicit certain behaviors. If something isn't working right, look to yourself and see what you might be doing to cause the behavior you are seeing. Equines are very honest about their response, and if they're not doing what you expect, it must be in the way you're asking. Don't hurry your equine. When asking for the walk, make sure that the walk is even in cadence, balanced and regular, not hurried. It is only after he is correct in his execution of one gait before you move on to the next. Be sure to use the elbow pull as described in our TV show and tape 2 of our video series, Preparing for Performance Groundwork, to make sure you're building muscle in the correct posture, evenly throughout his body on both sides. If you just let him go in an unrestricted frame, he can build muscle incorrectly and it will cause problems later. While you are doing passive exercises on the lead, you are building the muscle closest to the bone. In the round pen, we begin to build bulk muscle in strategic areas that will strengthen him and make carrying a rider or pulling a cart easier. And it will minimize the chance for soreness or injury and resistant behaviors. Keep sessions short, 30 to 40 minutes every other day at the most. When muscles are exercised, they need to be stressed to a point just before fatigue and then rested afterwards. When working in the round pen, count the number of rotations your mule makes each direction. After 10 rotations, stop your mule and have him walk a rotation before continuing. Plan your workouts for every other day with a day of rest in between. This is the way to build muscle. Any other approach will cause fatigue and actually start deteriorating muscle tissue. Use relaxing techniques, warm-up and cooling down exercises before and after every workout. The arena is the place to really start focusing on forward motion and lateral exercises to further strengthen your equine. It's the place to begin fine-tuning his balance while carrying a rider. This is a good place for you to fine-tune your own riding skills so that you learn to help your equine maintain good balance and cadence on straight lines and through the corners. Through the corners, you will be bending and shaping the muscles through his ribs so he can remain upright and balanced. Equines are not motorcycles and should not lean around the corners. The power should always come from the hindquarters to keep the front end light, supple, and responsive to cues. If the front end is heavy and sluggish, he is not stepping under himself with his hind legs and thus loses forward impulsion and power. And he's not conditioning the muscles properly. Using the elbow pull while riding will help you to be able to encourage him to continue forward with his hindquarters engaged. Open areas are good for stretching and relaxing at all three gaits. They can be used for negotiations of obstacles and large flowing patterns. You can also practice stretching exercises as described in our video series and on TV. Then go on to more collection and back to stretching again. The open areas afford a wide variation to training programs with the space to use numerous patterns and obstacles. Use cones to mark your patterns. This benefits both you and the animal. An arena without cones is like a house without furniture. You will need markers to help you stay focused, and it's the same for your equine. On the road and in traffic are for seasoned animals only. Do not school your equine on the road. The results could be disastrous. Drugs and medications are good when they're used for the right reasons. If the animal is sick, lame, or has other physical problems that need therapy, drugs can be a good thing. But when they're used to enhance growth beyond what the natural growth pattern should be, or used to mask lameness, they can cause permanent conditions that will hinder the animal's longevity, usefulness, and his ability to perform. Consult with your veterinarian on the appropriateness of all medications. Here's a summary of the bullet points in this program to develop trust, confidence, and successful training. Number 1, set up the environment for successful training. Number 2, check tack and equipment for fit and appropriateness. Number 3, be sure to use warm-up and cool-down exercises. Number 4, plan your exercise program carefully to facilitate good muscle development and coordination. Number 5, never school on the road nor in traffic. Number 6, know your drugs and medications and their proper uses. Number 7, be kind, consistent, and patient. This program has addressed some of the more subtle things that will make an enormous difference in the success of your training program. The more obvious training exercises, definitions, and explanations can be found in our other TV shows, in our resistance-free video series, on our website at www.lucky3ranch.com, and by calling 1-800-816-7566.
Having problems? Need an accessible trainer? Whether you're just a weekend trail rider or showing, the principles of training are the same. You want a safe and reliable equine companion. Produced by Meredith Hodges, Training Mules and Donkeys, a logical approach to long ears, will help you build a good working relationship with your animal. Meredith reveals the secrets of successful maintenance and resistance-free training that can be implemented by anyone, resulting in a satisfying partnership between you and your equine. Meredith answers your training questions promptly via mail or phone. Her books are great general resources and her videos are detailed, outlining the day-to-day exercises needed to produce a versatile and dependable equine companion. Meredith's techniques work with all equines. Do you have children? Grandchildren? Check out Jasper, the story of a mule. For more information, check out our website at www.lucky3ranch.com or call 1-800-816-7566.
Mules are working their way into the hearts of people everywhere. If you'd like to know more about these wonderful long-eared animals, you can contact us at 1-800-816-7566 or get on our website at lucky3ranch.com.
Dusty old quilt lying crooked on a couch in an old stone house by a lazy river. Songbirds singing to me like a slow ride